But perhaps less often recognized is the crucial point that in this concluding mission charge in Matthew's Great Commission, Jesus' words echo the description of everlasting authority over all nations given to one like a son of man in Daniel 7:14. Here's what the text says in Daniel. To him was given authority and glory and kingship, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His authority is an everlasting authority that shall not pass away, and his kingship is one that shall never be destroyed. So when Jesus ends the Gospel of Matthew by saying, all authority on heaven and earth has been given to me, he's claiming that exalted authority of the Son of Man from Daniel 7:14. It's even more striking if you look at Daniel in the Septuagint text, because these terms, exousia, authority, panta ta ethne, all the Gentiles, exousia aionios, eternal authority, are right there in the Daniel text, and Matthew just absorbs them into this saying of Jesus. So when we read the ending of Matthew against this background, we recognize that Matthew is portraying the risen Jesus as the triumphant Son of Man, who represents Israel and exercises authority over all the nations of the world in a kingdom that will not pass away. And thus is fulfilled Jesus' declaration before the high priest during the Passion narrative. Have you ever noticed this in Matthew? Jesus before the high priest doesn't say, someday you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power, etc. He says, from now on, you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven. So, and this is the crucial point for our present concerns, the disciples' mission to the Gentiles constitutes the fulfillment of Israel's story. Daniel's vision of Israel at last vindicated and ruling over the Gentile nations is to be enacted precisely through the disciples' work of preaching and teaching. Their mission will enact the triumph of Israel's God over the nations by extending his sovereignty over all the nations on earth. But at the heart of Matthew's vision is his insistence that this sovereignty and authority of God over the nations becomes effective through non-violent means. Teaching, baptizing. That's how God's authority is exercised over the nations, making disciples. The nations are conquered, as it were, through baptism into the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, and through their instruction to obey, to become subject to the teachings of a master who has insisted that the whole meaning of Torah is summed up in works of love and mercy. Well, it's time to summarize.